Hello and welcome to Mystic Visions with DrShiny. This is a monthly reading for Virgo, for my fellow Virgo friends for the month of March. So if you are not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. If you are a subscriber, I would be very happy to draw some extra cards for you and you only. And just let me know in the comments if that's something that you would like. And as always, please let me know what you think of the reading and if it resonated and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started for Virgo's reading here. Ooh. Got an interesting one for us today. Big energy going on here. Okay. All right, so what's going on here is temperance. This is what you have today. And this is, temperance can be kind of like you feel like you're going through something that's kind of violent or maybe unpleasant or feels like it's kind of breaking you down. But it's really something that's making you stronger. You're becoming a little bit more capable or able to handle more and more intense situations. So it is conditioning you for something else, something grander. When you temper like a sword, for example, you heat it up really, really hot and put it in the fire, and then you bang it with a hammer, and then you dip it in water to cool it down, and you do the whole thing over again. And it's very, very stressful, right? It's an awful, violent process, but the end result is a much, much stronger sword. So that's the kind of idea that's going on right now, is that this situation might seem like it's breaking you down a little bit, but it's really kind of making you stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? No, but in this case, in particular, yes, you are going through some tough times, but if you go through this with a positive outlook, you're really coming on to some new power, some new personal power that you maybe didn't even know you were capable of. Now, what's crossing you here is the Hermit, and the Hermit is, some solitude, self-reflection. So in crossing you position, it can mean that you are having a little bit less time to do this. It could be that you're not being able to self-reflect as much as you want. Maybe you are normally a person who does a little bit of meditation and you're not really able to as much because there's this stress on you. There's this thing that is kind of grating at you. And so what's really challenging you or influencing you is the need for you to remember that self-reflective part, that part of just kind of becoming a little detached from things. That's what's really going to be a challenge for you. Now, in the past, you have here the Ace of Coins in the reverse. So the Ace of Coins in the reverse means that you have been expecting possibly or something was supposed to, some financial gain was supposed to happen, some financial opportunity, but it was delayed. It didn't quite work out the way it was supposed to. You're moving away from that, so now you know it's coming back around, and whatever that delay was is soon to be behind you if it's not already. All right, so what you're moving toward here is this Knight of Coins. So the Knight of Coins is, he's within the realm of the material or the financial, and he's pretty good at it, but he's not a master yet, right? There's still the Queen and the King, but he's really good at it, but he's a little bit focused on that. He's kind of sometimes not thinking about the other things that he needs, and he's a little bit more all about that financial, that dollar. So you're moving toward this energy a little bit, and it's not like it's a horrible thing or that you shouldn't be moving this direction. It's up to you whether you want to move that direction or not. This is just kind of a snapshot of the direction that you're headed. It's not necessarily like a set in stone. I'm not your puppet master, right? So I'm not going to tell you how things have to work out. You always have a choice. But this is kind of the way they're going right now, where you're headed toward being a little bit more tunnel vision on the financial situation and kind of like leaving a little bit of the nuance of other things around you behind. Okay, so what you have in your foundation here is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. And so the foundation represents kind of like, what's the lesson here? What are you being taught? What's the universe trying to tell you through this situation? And the Queen of Coins is typically, she's really good at cultivating, gardening, or taking care of, this. She's got her little pet cat here. She's got her flowers from her garden and things. She's a good gardener. She does things. But she does things for her own benefit. She's not just a doer for the purposes of others or accomplishment or ambition for ambition's sake. It's funny. As soon as I mentioned the kitty, my kitty started scratching at the door. But she's not into it for just the sake of work. She's trying to make a pleasant and happy home around her. She's really good at making a wonderful home. Let me go ahead and let this kitty out. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. But in theme with what this reading is, being resistant to that energy because it's in the reverse means that you're being asked to spend a little bit more time with this. Be spending a little bit more time taking care of yourself and those around you, things that are important to you, your plants, your animals, and things like that. This is what's being taught, is that you can pursue these other things and you can be in this position of needing strength and meditation and everything. But there are also some people who depend on you, and not just depend on you to materially take care of them, but they depend on you in a more ethereal, spiritual sort of way as well. You need to make yourself available for all these things. Case in point, kitty scratching at the door, right? Let me out. So, that's kind of the idea here. And I couldn't have seen a better manifestation of that. But what's on your conscious thoughts, or your crowning thoughts here, is you have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So the Knight of Wands, he's a real doer. He's a very active person. He kind of like shoots first, asks questions later, and stuff like that. And you're not wanting to do that so much. So you're wanting to have a little bit more of like a methodical approach. You're not interested in just like doing the wrong thing. So a lot of your focus is really going more into your action. And that's kind of taking your focus away possibly from being a little bit more in the present moment and enjoying life for what it is. So you may be kind of devoting yourself, your mental energy a little bit to working things out a little bit more than normal, and trying to make sure that you're doing the right thing, that you are being careful and, just being a little more calculated in your decisions. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but you can't take focus away from one area, or you can't put more focus in one area without taking it away from somewhere else. So you just got to be cognizant of that and make sure that you're not neglecting some things that are very important to you by becoming sort of like intoxicated with your growth. So what you have for your advice card is the Three of Coins right here. What this really means is a sort of a collaborative effort. And in your advice card, this means that, remember to involve others, or to play an equal part of something. You're a piece of the puzzle. You're not the entire show, right? There are other people who are also necessary for you to work with here. So you're going to want to make sure that you focus on those other relationships as well and cultivate these other people. It's not just you that needs to be cultivated. It's other people as well. And that is one way of, as you advance, as you grow, as you become a little bit more focused on your personal development, If you develop other people around you that work with you in a sort of collaborative effort, they are able to take on more as well, and they're able to help you out to where you have more free energy available to work on yourself. Okay. Let's see. So for your environment here, you have the Hanged Man, and he's in the reverse. So around you, there's some impatience. There's not a lot of people who are willing to just sit back and let things go. Instead, there's a lot of people who want to act, to do things, to kind of control the situation, take the reins, that type of thing. So there could be quite a lot of pressure on you right now, which may be propelling you down this road. And it could be that you're handling that pressure well, and you're turning it into a positive, you're utilizing it. But there may come a time where you have to kind of like push back a little bit and say, well, I got a lot on my plate. I need a little time to think about this, or to, do what's best for me. Some rest time. And even as I say that, I can feel it. All right, there's a reason we've gone to monthly tarot readings instead of the daily ones that I was doing before. We'll put it that way. Okay, so what you have in your Fears card, you have the Seven of Wands. And, Seven of Wands is like needing to constantly defend yourself, or definitely has this energy. It even looks like it, of playing whack-a-mole. There's constantly something for you to be dealing with and having to just keep things at bay. And you don't really like living your life that way. It may be distracting or exhilarating or something, but that could be exactly what's keeping you from having this nice solitude, or reflective time, me time. So, this is this is a challenge. This being in your Fears card, you already know that you don't want to be in that situation. So you're going to have to start setting yourself up for a little bit more success, to have people around you that kind of have the same common goals that you have. At the same time, you're doing really well. There's no signs that you have a bad focus or anything here. So it's really just more about, I think, prioritization at this time, and realizing what's really important, or not losing sight of it. I think what's important. You just you want to be careful not to lose sight of it. That's the temptation here. So your overall message is the Page of Cups in the reverse. And so, I think that the Page of Cups in the reverse here is talking about, so the Page of Cups in the upright has this really hopeful energy. In the artwork here, there's like a fish jumping out of this guy's cup. For some reason, it's like almost absurd. It's impossible. I've got another deck where it has like a flying pig on it. And the idea is to imply that this guy believes that maybe pigs could fly, right? He's so optimistic. Nothing really seems impossible. Well, this is in the reverse. So this means that you're a little resistant to that kind of an idea, and you're kind of thinking that like hard work and determination are really the way to go here, and kind of get into the grindstone. But you don't want to forget that there is also that potential for windfalls, for things to happen way quicker and way better than you thought they would, in a lot better fashion. So don't get too hung up on the idea. I mean, you got some good momentum and some good energy going on here. So don't get too hung up on the idea that you have to maintain like a really hard and rigorous type of a mentality or an attitude to keep this thing going. Because then you're calling that reality to yourself, right? Law of attraction. So what you're really wanting to realize is that, great things can happen. Great surprises can happen. And, bad surprises happen occasionally too. But if you don't focus on that, and you recognize that, good surprises can happen too, you can call more of those good surprises to you. And it can lead you to having a little bit more leeway to not have to go quite so like all the way cranked up to 11. 9 is great. You don't even have to be out of 10. 9 is great. 8 is great. Most people don't give 8 even. So if you are, giving a solid 8, that's great. You know, you're really doing more than I think really necessary. You know, you're putting in more work than not, and I think that's a great place for you to be. You don't have to do everything, right? And us Virgos, we can quite be perfectionists and a little bit, you know, a stickler for having everything work out exactly the way we want it to. So it could be a challenge for you, but don't, you know, be satisfied with like a little less than everything, because you're going to be constantly setting yourself a goal that's unattainable, and you're going to be training yourself for failure instead of success, and that's not good. You know, you can't really get anywhere with that mentality. So anyway, that's about it for Virgo's reading for this month. And like I said again, if you are a subscriber, I'm very happy to pull some extra cards just for you. And please let me know what you thought about this reading. And I will see you guys again next month for your next monthly reading. Have a good one.